Good evening, and thank you for joining us at tonight's live town hall meeting hosted by Douglas County in partnership with Park Meadows Retail Resort and AD Works. We are excited to be on location at Park Meadows tonight to talk about the unique career opportunities right here. But first, I want to talk about why Park Meadows is such an important part of our community. In Douglas County, one of our core priorities is economic foundations. That means working with our employers to create a vibrant economic climate in which we can all thrive. Park Meadows has been part of that mission since it opened more than 25 years ago in 1996. Today, the retailers, restaurants, and operations at Park Meadows employ 3,000 full-time staff and 2,000 part-time staff. And they're looking for more people to join them. Why are these positions available? And what are the perks of working at Park Meadows? We'll get to your questions in just a bit. First, Commissioner Teal will tell you a bit more about tonight's event.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Layden. Appreciate it, Abe. And hey, thanks for being able to make it. I know you have what I had last week, so I would have phoned this one in. So thanks for being here, buddy. We are live upstairs next to Pottery Barn, and we're welcoming anyone to stop by and listen in and or ask questions. We'll also hear from those of you online as well as on the phone. Now, right now, there are more than 500 retail openings here in Douglas County. And we're here tonight to talk about those that are here right at Park Meadows. Unique opportunities for both professionals and teenagers. Our panel represents both the retail and restaurant industries, and we can also talk about career education with AD Works. And for our panelists, hey, thank you all for joining us. We, as has been mentioned before, Abe and I, we're old hands at this. We really appreciate you guys coming by and participating today. I want to remind you to please introduce yourselves when you answer your first question. Let us know why you love working here at Park Meadows. So let's get to our moderator who will tell us about the format of tonight's call. Roger?
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Like the commissioners mentioned, we're taking your questions live tonight. If you're on the phone, please press *3 on your keypad, and you will be transferred to an operator who will take down some basic information. Once the operator notes your information, you'll be returned to the call and can listen to our conversation until it's your turn. Since we'd like to hear from as many folks as possible, we'll limit all callers to just one question, and when it's your turn, I will call out your name and ask you to repeat your question for our live audience. You can also participate online by visiting douglas.co.us/town hall. And if you're here in the audience and want to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll come over to you when it's time. So let's jump right into the questions. I think Commissioner Layden, we had an online question to start. Go ahead.
Thank you, Roger. We had a question that came in online, and I really like this question, so I'll be excited to hear the answer. So Travis asks, we all know the pandemic took a huge toll on retail and restaurants. Can you tell us what happened locally in Douglas County and how we're doing economically now? That sounds like a Stephanie Mufik, AD Works question, so I'll pass it to Stephanie.
All right, and thank you very much, Commissioner. I'm Stephanie Mufik. I'm with Arapahoe Douglas Works. I'm the business services manager, and I love Douglas County. So I am here to talk a little bit about the economic impact that the pandemic had on retail. And I can tell you in March of 2020, there was a very large decline. Oh, thank you. Sorry. There was a very large decline in opportunities in the retail sector because of the shutdown of businesses. Actually, since that time, though, there has been a full recovery in retail. That's not the same for the accommodations and restaurant industry. So in retail, we're showing 118% recovered. So we have 18% more jobs in March of 2022 than we did in March of 2020. In the restaurant industry, though, however, it's only 95% recovered. So there's still a decline across the state of over 5,000 positions. In Douglas County, though, you are faring better than most counties within the state. Your unemployment rate in Douglas County right now is at 2.6%. So you have less than 6,000 people across the whole county unemployed right now. So today we're probably going to talk a lot about opportunities within the retail sector because it is difficult to find candidates right now. So thank you so much.
Well, Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us one more time. This is your second one with us, I believe.
It is.
So thanks again for bringing your great expertise. I do have another online question. Sarah asked, how did the pandemic impact Park Meadows specifically? Pam, I wonder if that would be something you'd like to take.
Yes, I'm Pam Kelly. I am the general manager. I've been at Park Meadows along with our operations manager, Willie Pollard, since we were first building the shopping center, and I'm very passionate and very excited about Park Meadows. We, of course, like the entire world, were shut down. And it was with really great gratitude towards the county that we were not only able to reopen, but we were the only enclosed regional shopping center that was able to communicate to the state how we could reopen in a more safer way. And all of our retailers and restaurants came together and did a really great job to keep that going. And that's really important when that happens, because not only all the employees and stores that work here, but we also, spend several millions of dollars with trades and other types of organizations in the support of the shopping center. So that keeps the entire community going. And we also are very philanthropic with what we do with our funds. And so it was tough to shut down, but it was great to get reopened.
Well, thank you so much, Pam. I think we've got an online question that also came in. And Pam, I wonder if this is one for you as well, reading it through. It's from Lisa. She asked, what about Park Meadows itself? Are there opportunities in operations or management? Again, kind of what you were just talking about, ma'am.
There actually are. We have a number of positions. Sometimes people think that shopping centers are just retail clerks. We have a lot of positions with great career advancement in security. We have positions in marketing. We have administrative positions. We also have positions for maintenance technicians. There are many positions that are associated, and they're all listed. So please go in and apply.
Well, thanks so much, Pam. Before I turn the call over to Commissioner Layden, I just want to remind you, if you're joining us on the phone, to please press *3 on your keypad if you would like to ask a question. You can also participate online at douglas.co.us/town hall. And so let's take some more questions. Abe, did you have a few over there?
Well, let's see. I think one of the nice things about our town halls, this is I want to say our 40 or 41st live town hall in the last year and a half. But one of my favorite things is when people are here in person and they take the time to be with us. So let me open it up to those that are here seated with us. Are there any questions from our live guests this evening about retail, workforce, or Park Meadows? Any questions? I see some really smart people in the room. Okay, if we don't have anybody with us with a question, let's go to an online question. Roger, do you have an online question?
I do have I have one online question that comes from Ed. He asks, while I love what you are doing for Park Meadows, I've often heard that the county cannot advocate for any specific vendor. What is different about the mall, Park Meadows? And that came in here online.
Well, I'll go ahead and, Abe, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and get into a little bit of it. We know that Park Meadows has been a big economic driver for the northern part of Douglas County, really for the whole 25 years since it was first built. So I look at that and I see Park Meadows as a real asset because, here in Park Meadows, we have a lot of retail, but really not a lot of apartments, not a lot of houses. And this is something that draws folks in from around the metro area. And the reality is, although the biggest single revenue source for the county is our property tax, it's our sales tax that actually provides the revenue that we need, both Abe and myself and our colleague, Commissioner Thomas, to provide services here in the county. And that's everything from running the DMV, which we all love to go to renew our license plates and get our driver's license renewed. But then it's also things that we really do rely on, plowing the snow, having sheriff's deputies that are available to respond to emergencies. And then, of course, Abe and I were in a a meeting earlier today, and we were talking about wildfires. And I think after what happened in January, actually late December, up in Boulder County with the Marshall Fire, I think we all understand that, we are in a beautiful landscape, but it's a landscape that is fragile and that can, quite frankly, turn on us from time to time. So we have to be prepared to respond to those emergencies that come about. And so that's a big important thing, big reason why we wanted to be here tonight, making sure that Park Meadows knows how much we appreciate them, and also letting everybody know that the importance that Park Meadows has here in Douglas County.
Yeah, I would just add to that. I think that's such a thorough and good answer, George. And I would also respond that, when we think about economic development, that really is one of our 6 core priorities. And we have really one of the healthiest counties in the entire country. I think we're the healthiest over 20,000. And then the wealthiest outside of the Washington, D.C. area. That's a wonderful driver for people to come here. But if they don't have a place to go to be employed, it makes it much more challenging. So we're big proponents of supporting our commercial corridors. I know that Park Meadows represents over 200 businesses. So when we talk about collaboration and partnership with Park Meadows, it isn't a single entity. It's north of 200. I don't know, Pam, did you have more on that?
So let's move along here. I do have an online question that came in. Now, this is from Jason, and actually, this is from Jason, and quite frankly, Jason, I think you're going to get it. I know you run a restaurant here in the Park Meadows area, but I wonder if you wouldn't mind fielding this question, which is, what positions are available in restaurants?
Thanks, George. Hi, Jason Ganal, GQ Barbecue. I founded GQ 6 years ago. We are the Colorado's only championship barbecue restaurant. If you're watching at home, online, you haven't been in yet, go to our website, www.gqbarbecue.com, and you can get a pop-up for a free pulled pork sandwich. You can come in and visit us sometime. So the question, George, let me repeat it just to make sure I understand it. It is, what opportunities are available in restaurants right now, right? I can only speak for my restaurant. I do have many, many, many friends who own restaurants too. So I feel like I have a pretty good feel for what's going on out there. There's a lot of opportunities in restaurants right now. I know for us at GQ, we look for attitude and personality before any particular skill sets. So as long as somebody has the right ambition, the right desire to want to be a good team player, that want to serve their guests first, that want to give people the best 20 minutes of their day, we will always find a spot for someone like that. And we're going into our busy time of the year right now, so we can use as many hands as possible right now, as we're expecting a really big spring and summer.
Excellent. Thanks, Jason. So I'm told by Roger that it looks like we had another online question. And Roger, you've got that. That came in live.
We do. I have that question. And before I read it, just a reminder, if you're on the phone, we've got several hundred people on the phone. Press *3. You'll be transferred to an operator, and they will get down some quick information, and we'll bring you up live. So *3 on your phone if you're listening on the phone. Here's a question that came in just now from Kelsey. She asks, I'm a single mom. As a single mom, I have applied so many places for part-time jobs and heard nothing back from anyone. Is there any advice to getting our names out there, or advice on what employers are actually looking for?
Hello, my name is Cameron Solon. I am the store manager for Macy's Park Meadows. I have been with Macy's for 14 years in July of this year, and been at Park Meadows now for just over a year. There are lots of opportunities, especially at Macy's, for part-time work and flexible scheduling. So definitely apply for any of our jobs online. We have lots of different jobs available depending on what your skill set is. So anything from our back of house and merchandising and receiving, or you could be front of house and selling. You could be a leader if you want to be a leader within our building. We have lots of opportunities open and very flexible scheduling, especially for those single moms out there. There's lots of them in our store, and we absolutely love them.
Well, thank you for that, Cameron. Great to answer, and we greatly appreciate Macy's and all you've done to keep people in Douglas County employed. So, great questions so far. For those that have just joined us, good evening, and thank you for joining tonight's town hall, which is all about economic foundations and the opportunities to work right here at Park Meadows Retail Resort. Roger, it looks like you might have a question on the phone, or it looks like maybe online.
We do have one online, and it is from Jenny. She asks, my son is looking for his first job. What is available at Park Meadows?
Well, there's a number of jobs available for students, and that's what's wonderful about working retail or restaurants is the flexibility of the hours and the 7 days a week. Just earlier today, I was talking with the general manager of this Dick's Sporting Goods, and he was talking about how amazing it was, the number of students and teens and the great workforce that we do have in our area. And it all really depends on what their interests are. We have a store or a kiosk or something that would interest any of those students.
Great. Thank you, Pam. And just a reminder to anyone listening online, press *3 and you can be live with us right now and ask your question live. I know that we do have a pre-written question sent in by Madison, and Madison asks, what's the best part about working in retail? Cameron, that sounds like a Macy's
That is a
question.
Macy's question. You know, the best part about working in retail is the fun that you have every day. You know, it's all about people and connection. So if that's something that inspires you and you thrive off of that, retail is right for you. You impact the customers' lives every single day, even though it's just a little bit of retail therapy. You really can make a difference in somebody's life specifically. And then working with our colleagues, the reason I've stayed with our company so long is the people. I have some fantastic mentors. I've had a very broad career for the last 14 years in 5 different states. So the opportunities are endless, but the people are what keeps me in retail.
Wow, great answer. Thank you so much, Cameron. Appreciate that. Roger, do we have anybody on the phone?
We do. We have a question from Aaron. Aaron, you're live. Go right ahead.
Hi there, thank you. I was wondering what the incentives are to work at Park Meadows, especially given the cost of living in the area and the low unemployment rate.
That's a great question. So, Aaron, if I heard that right, it was what is the incentive to work retail when it's really probably pretty challenging for most people to live in Douglas County? Who would like to answer that?
I can start
Okay,
at least.
yeah.
So at Macy's, like I said, we have flexible opportunities for the actual positions themselves, anywhere from flex to part-time to full-time to leadership positions. So the pay scale would really range. Our normal hourly positions are anywhere from about $15 to $20 an hour, depending on your skill set again. There's also a lot of incentives that you can get from the company itself. We have path to growth bonus incentives every quarter for when we have growth. We have options for spot bonuses as well when you've gone above and beyond. We have additional pay that you can earn on your paycheck for exceeding your personal sales goals as well, which is a non-commission incentive. If you're in a commissioned area, you earn commission. So there's lots of opportunities to earn more money within the store. We also have incredible benefits. And then in addition, this last year, Macy's now fully funds 100% of tuition so that you can educate yourself at a high school level, at a college level, and so on and so forth. And they fully pay for your tuition, which is a fantastic investment in our people.
Thanks, Cameron. And I'll just try to answer this from a commissioner perspective. I'm sure George probably has thoughts around this as well. I will tell you, Aaron, that affordable housing is a hot button issue throughout the metro area, throughout the state. No doubt it is challenging to afford housing in Douglas County. Stephanie, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the average home price is it $650 now? Yeah.
Median income in Douglas County, though, is $119,000. So huge.
People are making a lot, but it's also not so easy to buy housing here. You know, a lot of people think that this is a partisan issue, and I'll tell you how I think about it is, you know, when we contemplate service members, veterans, people that are, you know, first responders, law enforcement, people in retail, we want them to be able to live where they work. And one of the reasons for that is because that's a traffic solution. If you have to live in Aurora or Lakewood and commute on I-25 or I-70 or other roads to get to Park Meadows or get to other places in Douglas County, that creates congestion on our thoroughfares. So it is really important that we continue to have this conversation. I don't know, Commissioner Teal, maybe that's another town hall at some point.
It might be. It just might be. Yeah. You know, I mean, we as commissioners, we do hear from Lisa Frizzell, our county assessor, from time to time, and you know, I can appreciate particularly young people when they're first starting out. And this is something I heard from my son and my daughter. They're in their 20s, just done with their education, trying to get going. And it's tough. It's tough to break into the housing market. Houses are expensive. It does appear that interest rates are going up. And yet, actually, when you really do a real hard look at the numbers, actually, Douglas County is some of the most affordable housing to be found in the entire metro area. The reality is, you go up into Denver, you go up into Boulder County, you go up into Adams County, you don't get a lot of price relief. So it's kind of a double-edged sword because things are tough all over. Unless you want to drive out to Burlington and commute that distance to get in here to the metro area. But actually, Douglas County really, it is pricey, but it is not the worst that we have here in the metro area. I'm being prompted by Roger in the back to remind everybody, if you're on the phone and you'd like to ask a question, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to give you an opportunity to answer that question. Please press *3 on your dial in order to ask a question of the panel.
Great. So I think we have a couple of pre-written questions for our panelists. And these are some good ones. The first is from Eric. Since 2020, what has changed with your business? So I'll turn to Cameron maybe for an answer on that, and Jason as well.
Absolutely. So since 2020, the company has really gone after an omni strategy to making sure that you guys have an opportunity to shop not only in store, but have an opportunity to shop online. We have curbside available as well as our mobile app. So there's a lot that's been happening on the technology front. And it's also opened up a lot of jobs for people as well. So very advanced, making sure that we're staying with the times and giving you an ability to shop however you choose.
So you guys made a joke earlier about doing a panel on affordable housing. We could do a whole panel on COVID and what that's done. It's just ravaged the restaurant industry. But the good news is that all of those restrictions that were in place are now lifted. So restaurants are back open. We're so excited to be able to serve people, the guests that come in. The employees are happy to be there. They're happy to be working with their friends. And I think it's actually made us better. It's made us more resilient. We've gone through a whole lot that if we never have to go through that stuff again, I'll be happy with. But I know we can handle and we can adapt and we can move in ways that we didn't even know were possible before all this stuff happened. So we're just really excited to serve everybody. And we're looking forward to a lot of happy, hungry people this spring and summer.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Cam.
This makes me want to go over and try out. Well, Roger, did we have an online question to get to?
We do. Jeff just asked the following question. With Douglas County at 2.6% unemployment, or 6,000 unemployed in Douglas County, and with most of the retailers hiring and have a lack of applicants, does the mall have employment marketing dollars to use in the metro area?
Let me understand that question. This is Pam Kelly at Park Meadows. They're asking if the mall has marketing dollars to use in the metro area for employment at Park Meadows.
I think that's the gist. If you've got marketing dollars, or how do you promote that there are jobs here available?
Well, we do post jobs and we do advertise on places such as Indeed. We don't maybe market as well as we could, but we're very open to ideas. If you chose to write into us with what your ideas were, you could do that at parkmeadowsadmin.com, and we'd be glad to look at your ideas. It'd be something we'd be willing to do.
So it looks like we have a phone question. If you've pressed *3, you're live and with us, right, Roger?
We do indeed. Aaron's got a question. Aaron, you're live. Go ahead.
Is this the same
Hey,
Aaron?
thanks. Yeah, it is. I just wanted to follow up
Oh,
and
it is?
see if there. Yes, it is. If there's a website or where we can go to find these job listings, you could reiterate that.
Well, hi, Erin. This is Stephanie Muthick with Arapahoe Douglas Works. And I just want to say that currently, if you go to adworks.org, you'll be able to see on our front page there opportunities. And there is currently a Park Meadows virtual job fair that's happening. And when you go into that, you're going to find there's 19 companies right now that have job openings. And the virtual job fair actually creates a virtual link for you to talk to businesses. So you'll actually find the site online. You can actually apply online. And then from there, you can actually chat with a business. You may not get a response right away, but it'll take within 24 hours. They'll get back to you. And then you can upload your resume and drop it off if you're interested in learning more. And that's a direct link to the business that has openings right now at Park Meadows. So feel free to go there and talk with the employers that we have online. Thank you so much.
In addition, all the time, if you go to the Park Meadows Mall website, you will find a link that takes you to all of the positions that are open and posted for every store, every restaurant, and the mall.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Stephanie. I know we're going to get to some pre-written questions that we received, but as a policy maker we make decisions with our community. I think one comment that I often hear with regard to COVID, and I know Jason touched on this a bit, so I might ask him to respond, but throughout the pandemic, there was a sense of benefits administration where people were receiving unemployment benefits, and those benefits exceeded the pay that they might have received on a monthly basis working in retail. So as we see a lot of those benefits ending and the emergency orders ending, how do you envision that impacting your hiring, your retention, and just moving forward in terms of workforce?
Well, speaking on what had happened, I know there was some different benefits that were going out monthly to folks that were getting laid off, and I know there was some hope and some desire that when those benefits ended, the labor pool would go back up to what it was pre-COVID and pre-pandemic, and it doesn't seem like that's happened. I mean, maybe to some extent. But the places that do put their employees first and do care about their employees in the restaurant industry, they tend to have a lot of employees to choose from and also stick around. But I do think that there's still a lack of people out there in the restaurant space, at least here in Douglas County.
Well, I appreciate that. And, obviously GQ Barbecue and Macy's are great places to work. But, let's have the honest conversation. I think we saw a lot of individuals say, you know what, I'm done working for now, and maybe I'm going to get an RV and travel up the coast or go on vacation or do something different with my life. Is that something that you saw your employees choose or you saw in the industry?
Yeah, just in talking to a lot of people, I think people realize just how valuable life is. And if they have a dream or they want to do something, they're acting on it now that everything's open. So maybe they come back in 6 months, maybe they come back in a year, but I think it's incumbent upon the business to give them a good opportunity to come to. So the responsibility is actually on the businesses to give people a good opportunity to come in and work there.
Thanks, Jason. I'm going to turn it to Commissioner Teal for a phone question.
All right, Roger, I understand we have a phone question back.
We do. And just a quick reminder, *3, you can get in line just like Diana did. And Diana, you are live. Go ahead.
Thank you. I owned a retail business in a different state. I wondered whether there are present retail openings available and whether there are any incentives for small business owners to locate in Park Meadows.
Thank you. This is Pam Kelly with Park Meadows, and as I understand the question, it's whether or not there's retail space or opportunities for small businesses to open in Park Meadows? And the answer is yes. Again, if you choose to go to the Park Meadows website and just send an email over to us, we can send you an application and get you started.
Had another question that came in, and Pam, I think this might be another one for you. It came in from Jason. How is Park Meadows involved in the community?
Well, Park Meadows is involved in the community very directly and also indirectly. As the commissioners had mentioned earlier, from an economic development standpoint, we're a strong supporter. I do believe we have, for the last 25 years, been one of the top retail sales tax entities contributing to the county. We are very, very philanthropic. There are a number, over 100 different types of charities that we have contributed to or done things for. But the most special part of Park Meadows and what they are to the community is they're the place where you buy your engagement ring, your baby's very first outfit. They're the place that you go shopping with your adolescent or your teenager, the prom dress, what you wear for graduation, where you go to your celebratory dinners, where you have lunch with your friends. We're a part of everyday life that makes life better. And I think that's an intangible part that we contribute to the community.
Well, thanks so much, Pam. And I'll tell you what, having spoke to many people around the community, they do talk about those times when they've gotten a little bit of help from the Park Meadows community. And so I know everything that you guys do here in the community is very much appreciated. So I had another question that came in. And actually, I wonder if this isn't a good one for us to really actually go all the way around the horn. And let's start over here at the left and with Stephanie. And so, and then from there, go to Cameron, Jason, and then back to you, Pam. Question, really good one from a lady named Madison. Are you hiring people without experience? Stephanie, can you get us kicked off just from 80 Works perspective? No experience, what can they do?
Yes, and the retail industry is absolutely hiring without experience, but attitude is really important. So if you have the right attitude to work in retail, then it's the right fit. And coming into retail, believe it or not, you're going to learn a lot of transferable skills that will take you other places later on in your career, and help you pay for college if you're working at Macy's, right?
Yes.
So, but in any case, retail does look for people that have the right attitude. You don't have to have a lot of experience. It depends on the position. But there's a lot of training opportunities out there right now too to go into retail. So very good question. Thank you.
All right, Cameron, same thing for you. What does Macy's have to offer possibly for a person with no experience?
I mean, lots of jobs. We have lots and lots of them available. I couldn't agree more. It is, I think both of you guys said it, it's all about attitude and being positive and creating a positive work culture. So if you come and you want to work and you want to learn something new, we absolutely have lots of different opportunities for everybody that's out there at many different levels too. I can tell you I've personally hired several external leaders even into my building who do not necessarily have any retail experience, but it was all about their leadership skills and the ability that they had to lead and drive the team. So again, it doesn't necessarily have to be retail experience.
And Jason, no experience? What can GQ Barbecue?
Yep. Thank you. Yeah, I talked a little bit about it earlier. We're a values-driven organization, so we hire people based on the values, and if there's alignment, we look for people with a big heart. Those are the people who really flourish in our organization. For back of the house, for cook, we actually look for people without experience. We find that if we hire people, particularly people that worked at other barbecue places, they bring their bad cook habits to our organization. That I'd rather get a clean slate and teach them our proper ways of cooking barbecues, and that tends to work really well for us.
Well, Pam, knowing that you're running the whole joint, but what can you tell us about some of your other retailers? No experience, what can they offer a prospect coming in with no experience in the workforce?
I think a lot of the retailers and businesses here at Park Meadows, people start their very first job. I know my own personal children and most of the people that I work with, their very first job was here at Park Meadows in a retail organization. But we also have jobs beyond retail. We have an excellent security department at Park Meadows. You come in again with that right attitude, and we will train you and teach you a whole new task like that. The same thing is true for maintenance technicians. I have a wonderful success story. I had a very talented woman come to us with some administrative skills, and she basically was great at being a marketing coordinator by just getting her exposed to something new. So I agree with Jason. You don't always have to have the bad habits that you bring to the new organization. And I agree with Cameron. It's all about just the values and enjoying where you work.
So great answers. And I think the epiphany there, maybe for our teenagers and our professionals in the community, is lots of jobs available, and you don't necessarily need experience to be able to get a job right away right here at Park Meadows. Maybe bridging from folks that don't have experience but maybe would like to get some experience, we do have a pre-written question from Ty. He asks, are there programs in Douglas County to help our workforce gain skills? And I'll toss that to Stephanie.
Thank you, Commissioner Layton. So the Workforce Center, Arapahoe Douglas Works, helps potential job seekers in many ways. We help from just the basics, where we'll help you write a resume, we'll help you prepare for an interview, those kinds of things. But we also have programs available that will help you with short-term training programs. So if you need just another certification to get your foot in the door in a position, we can help you with that. So there is currently a grant at the state level. It's called the RUN grant, which is reskill, upskill, new skill. And anybody that's been impacted by the pandemic can actually work with Arapahoe Douglas Works and a workforce specialist to try to gain those short-term skills that you need to get your foot back in the door and get kind of back out into the labor market. So it's really, there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of support and assistance available to help you on your find your next career and get on that road again to working. So it's in Douglas County.
Thanks, Stephanie. So the short answer is, if you don't have experience, you can get a job today. But if you do want experience or those reskilling, upskilling opportunities, AD Works is available to help you get those new skills.
Exactly.
Let me ask a controversial question. So I wonder if in this challenged market where you're looking for new employees, is there competition with those in your industry or elsewhere to find the right staff? And what are you doing to remain?
So I always say we don't have any competition. We compete against ourselves every single day. Every single day we are our biggest competition. I want every single person that comes in to say GQ is number one, and I want every single person when they look back on their previous jobs to say my favorite place to work was GQ. So we challenge ourselves every single day to make a really great environment where people look forward to coming into work every single day. I'm a big believer that, particularly with most of our jobs in our restaurants, if we can create an environment where people like hanging out with one another, then friends don't want to leave their friends. They like to come to work every single day, hang out with their friends, see their friends, catch up on what they did the previous day. And that's what we strive to create in our workplace every day.
Jason, just an aside, I would love to say how amazing GQ Barbecue is from personal experience. I know that to be true, but my daughter actually just went on a date at your establishment, and I don't know how the date went, but I know the barbecue was really good.
So here's a question that came in, and from Andrea. And actually, I'm not exactly sure. This is kind of a jump ball that I'm going to put out there. Why do you think there is a shortage of retail workers? Who would like to volunteer for that good one?
I think it can be intimidating. I think retail can be intimidating to a lot of people because there's the assumption of a specific skill set that's required. But there's tons of training opportunities within the store, and whatever position that you decide to apply for. There's training on the floor with your peers. There's training with your manager. There's computer-based training. There's training and mentorships where you could go to another store and shadow. So there's lots of different opportunities. I really do think that a piece of it is that intimidation.
Okay. That was a great way to field that one. Thank you.
Thanks.
So just a reminder to everyone who is on the phone, if you have a question, please dial *3 on your keypad and get in line to ask a question.
Pam, did you want to add anything to that last question? It looked like
Well, there is something that I think people should keep in mind. A lot of times when you talk about working in retail, people make a face because they're thinking about nights and weekends. And as I talk to the store managers and owners, we have talked about the part-time jobs and the fact that students and some really great new talent come in and work, and they're only available the nights and weekends. So if you are really looking for more of that, 10 to 4 type of position, or even just the daytime during the week, don't set retail or restaurants aside, because they do have positions that are available because of what the varied workforce is that's available for that.
Thanks so much, Pam. So here's a question that came in earlier that I've been dying to ask, because we keep talking about retail and we know how important, and you guys have spoken very well to how important customer relations are in retail. But Kimberly asked a really great question that I've been dying to ask. Are there non-customer facing positions that are available in your business? And once again, I'd like to kind of go around the horn. Stephanie, can we start with you? And then Cameron, Jason, and then Pam, if you could tell us anything about those.
Yes, so thank you, Commissioner Teal. There have been quite a few positions, of course, customer-facing positions are part of retail, but there are also a lot of what we consider backroom positions. So when you look at positions for, stock clerks or shipping and receiving positions, even marketing positions, computer technology positions behind the scenes, those have all been on the rise as well in retail. So definitely seen an increase in the last at least 6 months. So thank you.
To piggyback on that, we absolutely have positions in our back of house areas, primarily in receiving, as well as our Omni and what we call our fulfillment team, who pick the .com orders or your buy online and pick up in store orders out there. I would say that one's a little bit more light customer facing. They primarily work in the mornings, but once the store opens, they're still out picking items for the customers to ship. So there might be some light contact with customers, but usually it's where's the restroom or where's this department. But those are primarily our two that are not so much customer facing.
Yeah, we have about 50% of our positions are non-facing.
What's really fun is everything that goes on behind the scenes in a place like Park Meadows. You don't run a 2 million square foot building like this with so many different stores and so many different operations without having some really great people behind the scenes.
Abe, that was a special question for me because I wanted a non-customer facing position and I screwed up. I got the wrong job. Abe, I think you had a question to go.
I do. And I remember when I was in college, there was a retailer who will remain nameless, whose requirement to work there was not a good attitude. It was you had to be good looking. And so I'm really pleased to know that it's about attitudes and positivity. I think there's a documentary on Netflix about it right now that we're watching. But let's go to some written questions for us. It looks like Sammy had a pre-written question about what opportunities are there for college students studying fashion or other similar fields.
So we have a few opportunities. Not only can you be hired in as a college student at any hourly position, but Macy's also invests in our colleges out there and recruits from an internships standpoint, as well as what we call our executive development program. So I was recruited straight from college, actually. And when I graduated, I went into Macy's executive development program. That's basically a manager and training program. Right now, it lasts a couple of years and you have various phases, and then you're hired on as a leader. But we also have internship programs for sophomores and juniors to be able to understand what it's like to work at Macy's as a leader with our organization.
All right, thank you very much. We're close to the end of our time tonight. We want to remind you to be sure to join us for future town halls, and you can visit douglas.co.us/town hall to sign up to ensure that you are notified. Before we conclude tonight's live town hall, I'd like to go back to our host for some final comments. We have a few minutes, so don't feel rushed. Pam, do you want to start from Park Meadows and give us some final thoughts?
Yes, thank you. I want to thank Douglas County, the extraordinary staff that put so much time and effort into doing this remote town hall in another place in the northern tier of Douglas County, making it accessible. I want to thank them for the realization of the importance of having jobs of all types, not just those executive high level, but the retail, the back of the house, the restaurant. I also want to thank the staff of Park Meadows that put in a lot of extra work this week in order for us to do it. I would encourage anyone that's listening that knows anyone to, refer to the adworks.org website that Stephanie spoke about, or even just the Park Meadows website. We have jobs posting all the time, and you may be just surprised at what a wonderful time and what a wonderful community you can have working in a place like this. And don't forget, many of the stores have wonderful discounts.
So as we start the wrap up, thanks so much, Pam. Thank you for providing such a great venue for us to work here tonight. But I'd like to go ahead, before Abe and I kind of bring it home, offer it up to our other panelists. We've got two business people here, and of course, Stephanie, I'm going to give you the same challenge to them. Give me that 30-second elevator pitch to close.
All right. Well, I would just like to say join the virtual job fair. It is running for Park Meadows now through June 30th. We're going to be marketing this every week, and you just scan the barcode, go in and meet with these employers. There are great opportunities here at Park Meadows. So please check into all of them and come to work here at Park Meadows. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a fun job, look no further. Come to Macy's Park Meadows specifically if you can. If you can't, there's lots of other Macy's within the area as well. But again, it's fun, it's fast. There's lots of opportunities for growth, and that's all up to you. And you can find us on macy'sjobs.com.
I just want to say, as a business owner in the county, that it's refreshing and nice to have representatives like yourselves that are engaged in the community and giving these platforms for people like me to face the community and give the citizens a chance to speak directly to you. So thank you for that. And it's also a thrill just to be a part of such a great property like Park Meadows. I mean, it's no secret, Park Meadows is a great place where we all like to go and shop and hang out, and I'm just thrilled to be a part of it and be a small cog on the wheel here. And then if you have not yet come in and visited us, go to our website and get that free pulled pork sandwich. Just enter in your email address. You'll see a pop-up right away when you get there, and we'll see you in the shop.
Well, Mickey's big hand says that I've got a couple minutes to go ahead and wrap up. Well, what a neat opportunity. And again, Pam, I can't say it too many times. Thanks for having us in. Thanks for inviting us in to your beautiful venue, such an important part of the Douglas County community. And thanks everybody who participated, whether you were just listening in or you had a good question for us. Very much appreciated. Obviously, we have jobs here in the community, here at Park Meadows and throughout the county. And yet we do have such a really low unemployment number going right now. So if you're in need of some income, and I think of the teenagers out there looking at what are they going to do this summer? Hey, come on in, come grab a summer job. I can tell you stories from my time, and please listen to my stories and not the stories of my employers of when I was a teenager, and so many of the real basic lessons that I learned that I used later in business, heck, that I used in the military, and quite frankly, that I use every day in this current job working for everybody as one of your commissioners. I actually learned those skills. I actually learned how to conduct myself. Working at McDonald's and working in retail, working in restaurants. Jason and I were talking a little bit before we started up, and we're a part of a barbecuing Facebook page. Of course, he went pro. I still have preserved my amateur status, but it was my love for cooking that I actually developed when I was working as a line cook at Potato Brumbas in Greeley, Colorado, an establishment that no longer exists. I guess the owner made enough money that he went off and bought his Caribbean island. but just those times were very valuable to me. So if you're a teenager, you're listening. If you're a parent of a teenager who's listening, definitely get on your kids, get them to come on in, whether you go through AD Works or you hit up one of the retailers that are here at Park Meadows, or even Pam, the page at the mall itself. Come on in, fill out that application. You've heard that if it's your very first time working, there's jobs here that are ready for you. If you're inexperienced and maybe you've had a little disruption in your employment over the course of the COVID crisis, again, there's some good experienced jobs here that, who knows, you can find your next adventure, you can find your next job. At the very least, you can probably find your next paycheck. So come on in. And once again, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. Abe, you want to take us home?
I will, Commissioner Teal. And again, a huge thanks to Pam Shank Kelly, to Cameron, to Jason, to Stephanie. What a great opportunity to talk about retail, workforce, and opportunities to thrive in this post-COVID economy. You know, George and I are committed from a county perspective to economic vitality and want to continue to remain servants in that regard, to show up for our business community and support the opportunity to be employed right here in Douglas County. Park Meadows, for many, many years, if not decades, has been one of the crown jewels of our community. I really thank Pam Kelly for her leadership through all of those times, some wonderful, some challenging, and everything in between. So it's a real hallmark to your commitment to this community that we are sitting here today in a thriving Park Meadows. You know, I have a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 4-year-old. And I'm kind of like Commissioner Teal. I worked restaurants, I worked retail, and I think Cameron stated it really well that it's all about attitude. I remember I would have football practice and then I'd go bust tables at a Mexican restaurant in our community up north. And having those soft skills of being able to communicate and connect with people that may not always be pleased is a really positive thing to learn. And you can come right here to Park Meadows and get those skills immediately, get hired without a whole lot of experience. But guaranteed you'll have a lot of experience leaving here. So with that, I'll turn it back to Roger.
Thank you, Commissioners. On behalf of Douglas County, thank you for joining us this evening. If we did not get to your question tonight, we invite you to submit any question on any subject at any time at douglas.co.us/citizen connect. We hope you'll join us again for a future town hall, and we wish you a very good evening.